Okay, so we all know that in order to be a good guitar player, um, we need to practice. It's true for any other instrument in general. It's true for any sports, any other skill in life. You need to practice to be good at it. Everybody knows that, but yet sometimes we're just lazy, or we don't know what to work on, or even worse, sometimes we it seems that we're practicing enough, but we don't get significant results, and we're just ended up frustrated. So that's why it's really important to your practice time need to be organized, and you have to work towards goals. Otherwise, you at least you know where you're going and you know what to work on. Well, especially when you start the guitar, you have to play every day. Well, at every level, really, you have to play every day if you have to you have to keep your fingers busy. A minimum of 20 minutes every day. If you're really busy in your life, that's what you have to do. But if you're really busy, I prefer that you do a few minutes a day rather than a few hours every 2 weeks. That's not gonna work. The best thing would be between half an hour and 1 hour. When I started, I was a student, so I had loads of free time, and when I started, I used to play maybe and practice 3-4 hours a day. Yeah, so as I said, you have to organize your practice time. What does that mean really? Well, first of all, you have to make it enjoyable. You have to make it fun for yourself. Uh, that means that instead of working on one single thing, you have to be able to work on several areas of the playing. That's really good, and also it makes practice a little bit more enjoyable because you're working on several different things. And one skill that you get in one area of the playing, whether if it's scale or rhythm playing, whatever else, you could spend 10 minutes of this, 10 minutes of something else. Don't get stuck into the same thing. You have to define the challenge and the goals that you have at the moment on your guitar playing. And that would be a good idea also to set up a deadline. Let's say, okay, here's one of my goals. Okay, I need to master the bar chords, and I'm gonna give myself, let's say, 2 months to do that. And if you work towards that goal, then if you stick to it, your practice time will be much more effective. And you can organize all of that into your practice routine, and say on Monday you have half an hour to practice. You could do 10 minutes warming up exercise with the left hand, or rhythm patterns, 10 minutes. The 10 other minutes you could work on scales and build up some strength on your fingers. And the next 10 minutes, let's say, you could work on songs. The next day, then you could spend maybe more time on the songs and less time on the warm-up exercises. And then the next day, you can do the same thing as you were doing on Monday. It's interesting to change the amount of time that you're dedicating for all of the things that you want to do from one day to another. But don't be confused by practicing the stuff, learning things and trying to master them is not the same thing as just spending an hour and jamming and playing things that you know. You can't pretend that you've just practiced for an hour, but in reality you just jam the things that you already know, and you know, it's not the same thing at all. Don't be confused by that, okay? So when you're practicing a song, there's several important things to bear in mind. First of all, you need to use a metronome, especially if you're working on a rhythm. It's very good for your timing. You just stick to the metronome and you just go slow at first, and you know, that's very good to keep you on track, and your rhythm won't be all over the place. Another thing that you have to do when you're practicing a song, and that's really important, you need to narrow down the difficult part of the songs. Don't play a whole song or a piece of music over and over, and you're actually doing okay with the song, but that is just that part that you're struggling with. Let's say a switch from one chord to another, or a solo lick that you can't really get. Just narrow down that part. You take this piece away from the song. Don't think about the song anymore, and you just don't stick to the normal tempo. Just go back down, take that chunk, and those tough chunks that you're gonna separate from the song, you just play them over and over, and you repeat them until you get them right. Practice the things slow at first, separate the difficult part and work on them without having to play the entire song over and over again. And in general, you have to be patient. Repeating the same exercise over and over again, it's not going to be a waste of time, because the skill you're going to get repeating that same piece, you will build up your strengths on your fingers, dexterity, velocity, and just, you know, good coordination between the two hands, and all those things that will be useful then on anything that you will attempt to play then next. The last thing I could say is that don't hesitate to play with others. That's really good, but don't make your practice time as something that's not enjoyable, or something, oh, I need to go through this, I need to go through that, that's going to be a pain. Don't think about that. Think about the big picture. You will see that the more you go on your level of guitar, you will achieve small victories, and you will realize that it pays off, and only practice pays off. There's no way around it. Take into account all those advices, and then you'll be fine.